Hey Team Beachbody, it's Alex Bunton, the Northeast Director, and I am just simply making this video for a couple coaches who asked for it. Maybe it will help you as well, but this is the win the day mentality. It's something that Kim Carver shared with me when I first started, and I took it, I ran with it. I've been sharing it with tons of coaches. They've been adopting it, and it works. It's been working. So hopefully you can take something away from this and it works for you. It really is just a mentality and a system put together. I'm a huge believer that the difference between your best game and your worst game all hinges on your mental game. So this will really help dial in and make sure that your mental game's there every single day, okay? I'm also an athlete. I played college basketball and I love to win. I love to win. So if I can win every single day, then why not? It makes it even better. So this is something that you do every single day. And it's all in alignment with your why. That's what we start with. I actually wrote it down. Your why. The why is so important, you guys. I know you talk about it. You hear other people talking about it, but it's so important. It's the most important piece in the whole entire equation of this win the day, actually. So if you haven't spent time on your why lately, I really urge you to do so. Really think about it. Get emotional with it. Put some connection behind it, put some plans behind it, and write it down. I heard the other day that when you actually write down a goal or a dream of yours, there's a 90% higher chance that you will actually achieve it. So write it down. Don't just think about it. And you'll know you have it when there's a fire underneath your butt. You feel this extra sense of motivation. That's when you know that you have hit your why, okay? So it all starts with that why. And then these three key disciplines are all in alignment with them. Quickly on discipline, I'm a big believer in discipline. I think discipline outweighs motivation every single day of the year. We're not always motivated to do something, but being disciplined enough to do it anyway is what it takes to be successful, you guys. Kind of going back to my college career with basketball, I was not motivated to wake up every single day at 4:30, 5 a.m. to go run on the track, to go run stairs, to go run ramps, or sprints in the gym. But you do it because you're disciplined, because when it comes time for basketball season to start and the games, you're in the best shape of your life. Same thing with your business. Even if you don't feel like making that invite, creating a new contact, following up with somebody, you still do it because you know it's going to get you to where you want to go, okay? So these are all disciplines. Discipline is kind of a learned behavior. It doesn't take much skill, but it's learned behavior. You learn it from your parents, you learn it from your teachers, your peers, probably where you work. You're always learning about how to be more disciplined. And there's lots of different things that you can do to help yourself with that. But really, it just takes doing, okay? So the first discipline is to be completely committed to a desirable outcome. So be completely committed to a desirable outcome. That's the first discipline. It's almost a fancy way of saying, let's set a goal that's achievable, but it's a push goal. A lot of times we want to be 2-star, 5-star elite coaches, which is awesome, and you should have those dreams and goals. But if you're not hitting Success Club every single month, let's start with a goal like that. So that way you can get this discipline down of saying, when I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And that's really discipline. A part of this, that's your desired outcome. What does that goal look like? But the first part, being completely committed, that's a whole different level, right? Because I feel like there are different levels of commitment. There's the, okay, I'm committed. There's like, I am all in. There's no point of return commitment. Some of you actually heard me talk about the whole wax scenario. But there's another scenario. I went skydiving a couple months ago. If you guys didn't see on my page, that's committed to desirable outcome. My boyfriend and I, his huge fear was heights. And so he thought the best way to get over that fear was to jump out of an airplane. So I was like, I will do it with you. So we go and we get there. And as we're entering the gate of the airport, they have to let you in. They're letting another couple out who didn't jump. And they're like, maybe next time you'll do it. And so even right there, we're like, okay, kind of red flag. This is scary. We're excited, but we're nervous. Oh, we have butterflies. So, we have all these emotions that can tell us, okay, you can turn around right now. You don't even have to walk through that door. But we walked through. And then we got to the airport hangar, and you have to sign a lot of signatures that you are okay if you die. You're not okay if you die, but if you die, you can't sue them. I don't know how you could sue them if you died, but you get what I mean. You sigh that, you know, you understand that this is dangerous and that there's a potential of death. And so you're signing. And as you're signing these, you are like, oh my gosh, should we do this? Should we continue? A red flag, all these things that could make us turn around, because even though we've committed enough to be there, we're not 100% fully committed, because we still could turn around from getting to our desired outcome, right? But no, we're like, yes, let's do this. They then sit you in front of a TV and they put a video on of a guy who looks like he's from Duck Dynasty, huge beard, very monotone, which is like, hello and welcome to your first skydive. You need to know that you could die. You know, so it's just like all these different things telling you, don't do this, this is dangerous, you know, and we're looking at each other like, do we really want to do this? We could turn around, but we were like, no, let's do this. So then we get in the plane, and there's only 4 of us. It's really little plane, and even up in the air, even before they open the door, they tell you, you can still say no. You can still turn around if you're scared, if you don't want to do it, if you don't want to reach that desired outcome of overcoming your fear of heights, you can still say no. You can still turn around. It's not until they open up that door when it's like done, and your legs are outside of that airplane and they just push you off, and then it's just the most amazing feeling ever. If you haven't done it, I urge you to do it, because you will not regret it. I promise you won't. But that is what completely committed looks like. That is the point of no return commitment. That is, I'm going to do this come hell or high water, no matter how many no's I hear, no matter how many times I, you know, drop rank, no matter how many times I, you know, don't hit the Success Club thing that I'm shooting for. I'm going to still push forward, because whatever this why is means so much to me that nothing's going to stop me. That's the kind of commitment I'm looking for from all of you, and that you should be looking for in yourself. And if you don't have that commitment, you need to think about this, and you need to get to the point that you're that committed, because there are going to be times in your coaching career that there are going to be red flags. There's going to be that sick feeling. There's going to be those tears. And this has to be strong enough. The why has to be strong enough that you're not going to turn around. Okay, so that's the first discipline, being completely committed to desirable outcome. Okay, so here, find a push goal that's attainable for yourself. The second discipline is to control the controllable. This is probably one of my favorite disciplines. This is also probably the discipline that is the hardest. We as humans tend to like to focus on things that we cannot control, and we tend to let that ruin our day and maybe even our lives, because we spend so much time and energy on these fires and these things that at the end of the day we don't have any control over, and we didn't do anything to move our business along. So during this discipline, you need to find 5 to 8 tasks that are linked directly to the goal that you set in discipline 1, that's linked to your why, that you can control. Okay, so for example, if your goal is to hit Success Club, what are some things that you can control that you can do every single day that's going to help you get there? Well, of course, look at your VAT tracker or the Power Hour. You know, those tasks. Of course, the 3 vital behaviors, those definitely should be on there. And then, you know, finding new contacts every single day, inviting to the opportunity every single day, inviting to a challenge group every single day, following up every single day. And these are tasks that you have 100% control over, that you can do. And when you do them, your business will move forward. So find those tasks that are linked to your goal and make sure that you're doing those first in your day. Okay. And that's another important part. A lot of times the things that we can control, we push off when other things pop up, and we like to tend to that. So by the time we get to the things that we can control, we're not our best. We don't have as much passion. Our gas tank is low. You know, we're tired, and we might even just go to bed and not do them. So that's why it's so important to do them when it's the start of your Beachbody time during that day. So that way you're freshest, you feel good, you're energized, you have this passion that you project. Get those things done, okay? Now, on top of doing them the first during the day, I'm going to take that one step further. I want you to find those 1 to 2 things that you hate doing most for some reason on that task list, and I want you to do those very first. Because we all know that we push those things off too. The things that we don't like to do, we leave those to the end, and then sometimes we don't get to those, right? Just like my boyfriend and I were talking, and he's like, this is exactly like the workout with Autumn, the 21-day fix, where you do the surrenders. You know, he hates the surrenders, and even Autumn says, you know, we're doing these first because they're the hardest and we're going to get them out of the way. That's the same thing and the same mindset you should have with your business. You know, find the things that are going to move your business forward that you don't like to do those first to get them out of the way. Okay, so that's the discipline 2, control the controllable. All right, so the last discipline is to be fully accountable. Sounds easy, right? So being fully accountable, what does that look like? This is where the win the day mentality comes into play. At the end of every single day, I need you to take 5 to 10 minutes just for yourself, okay? And during that time, ask yourself one question. Did I win the day? And how you know if you win the day is if you were able to complete those 5-day tasks that are getting you closer to your goal, that's getting you closer to your why. And when you do that, how do you think you're gonna feel? Pretty dang good, actually. We all know that it feels good to accomplish something. That's why we make checklists, so we can check it off, because it just gives us a good feeling inside. So at the end of the day, and you can look back and be like, I moved my business forward. You need to celebrate that. You need to pat yourself on the back, you do a little dance, do whatever you need to do to make yourself feel good for those kind of things, okay? It's like, you know, T25. At the end of the workout, what do you say? I nailed that. And it feels good to nail a Shanti workout. And if you nail it day after day after day, you know that you're going in the direction that you want to, whether you want to look a different way or feel a different way, you're going in the right direction. Same thing with your business, everyone. If you win the day every single day, you're going in the direction that you want to go. You're going in the direction of your goal. You're going in the direction of your why. And that's what you want, okay? And then things start to become easier because you have this positiveness about you, you have this aurora that you just feel good, and you want to tell everybody now, because something happens when your mental game is there, is when you're on top of your game, you just want to share that. And that's when, you know, recruiting becomes easier, following up becomes easier. It all becomes easier because what you're projecting is what you want to project, okay? Now let's say you don't win the day. And that's okay, because life happens. This is when you need to take that 5 to 10 minutes and understand why you didn't win the day. A lot of times, if we don't win the day, we just go to bed and hope tomorrow is better. We don't take the time to understand what happened, so that in the future, we have a plan B. We have a backup to when that happens again, because you know that's going to happen again. We know how to make sure it doesn't detour us from winning the day, okay? So take those 5 to 10 minutes, understand what popped up. When it pops up down the road, next week or next month, how are you going to make sure that you can still get those tasks done so that you can win the day, okay? All right, and then you can go to bed, you know, with peace in your heart, clear your mind, and just ready to win the day tomorrow. All right, so that's what the whole win the day mentality looks like. And that's something in an exercise that you can do with yourself. At the beginning of this video, I also mentioned that this is totally duplicatable, and it is, because this is a conversation and an exercise that you can have with your coaches. You know, sit down, talk to them about their why, really understand that, and make sure that there's an emotional connection there, that there is a fire lit after that conversation with them. You know, and then talk about their goals. Where are their goals? Are they where they should be? And if they're not, as the coach, as the leader, help them get them there, okay? And then talk about the things that they can control to help them get there. A lot of times as coaches and leaders, we like to tell them exactly what they need to do. And that down the road leads to them always asking you what they need to do. And sometimes that kind of drags us down, right? So during this exercise, how about you guide them to the activities they need to do? You know, okay, so your goal is to hit Success Club. What kind of activities can you control that you can do every single day that's going to help you get there? And, you know, if they say, you know, I'm going to go spend 2 hours on a Facebook banner, that's when you need to be like, all right, tell me more about this Facebook banner. How is that going to help you get to Success Club? To eventually lead the conversation for them understanding that it's probably not the best use of my time. And I would agree with that. I agree, you know, so what would be the best use of your time? You only have an hour. What kind of activities can you do during that hour that's going to help you get to Success Club? Eventually, they're going to get to finding new contacts, inviting, following up, those kind of things, right? So make sure you help guide that conversation instead of just telling them, and then help them come up with a number. Okay, I agree, inviting people every single day. How many people do you want to go towards? 3, 5, 10? What does that look like? Put a number next to it, okay? So you have their why, you have their goal, you have their tasks. Now the accountability parts comes in, okay? And this is where you have the conversation of, okay, I am so excited about this why. I'm so excited to help you get there and to watch you and to support you. We set up this awesome game plan. We have your goals. We have what you're going to do to get there. But at the end of the day, I can't do it for you. I really wish I could, but I can't. But I am here to support you. So, do I have your permission to hold you accountable for these things? So that way you are putting accountability there. You're not telling them they better go get it done and kind of put the fear of God in their eyes. Or you're not be like, all right, good job, we'll talk next week, good luck type of attitude, like no accountability. No, you're asking for permission. Do I have permission to hold you accountable for these things? Yes. So that way you have a conversation next week. Imagine that. A routinely conversation that you know what to talk about. You don't have to think about what I'm going to talk about this week. You know exactly what you're going to talk about. You're going to ask them, how did it go? Did you win the day? Did you win the week? How did it go? You know, how's your business looking? And if they won the week, that's when you celebrate with them. That's when you recognize. That's when you do those things to pump them up, because that feels awesome for them to win the week and for you as a leader to see your coaches start to win the week and move their business along. Now, if they didn't win the week, which I'm sure you've had some coaches tell you they want to do it and they don't do it, that's when you can say, you know, I'm not mad at you. This is your journey. This is you, right? And last week when we talked, you were so excited about this. You really wanted this why. And for some reason, there was a disconnect, and that's okay. Is this still important? Is this still what you're going for? Yes, okay. Now, is this still your goal? Yes, okay. Now, these tasks, let's talk about these tasks, because usually that's what holds people back. You know, is there anything that you don't fully understand? Any kind of role playing you'd like us to do? Would you like to come watch me do, you know, an invite or a follow up? You know, this is a place where usually they stop because they're not fully competent in what they're doing. So take some time in the tasks, the control area, and make sure that they feel fully, you know, ready to go and do those once you are done with this conversation. And then you can have that conversation again. Okay, so we've gone through everything again. You're ready to go. Everything looks great. Do I have your permission to hold you accountable? Because at the end of the day, I can't do it for you. Yes, please hold me accountable. I really want to do this. I promise I'm going to do it this week. This is going to happen. Okay, next week you talk, nothing. They didn't do anything, right? I'm sure you've had those coaches. So that's when you have this conversation. All right. So again, I'm not mad at you, but there is a disconnect. We've talked the past couple of weeks, and we talked about your why, and we talked about the goals, and we've laid it out, but it's not being done for some reason. And, you know, that's okay. Maybe it's not part of your journey right now, but when it is, and when you are ready to actually do these tasks that are getting you closer to your goal and your why, please come back to me. I am ready. My door is open. But I have to go work with those who are doing the tasks and putting in the time and the effort to get to where they want to go. So that way you feel comfortable with leaving that situation, right? A lot of times it kicks them in the butt. And if it doesn't kick them in the butt to go, then you did the right thing. You're not wasting your time with that person anymore, right? So that's the conversation that can be had as you're duplicating this type of system. So that's the win the day mentality. I use it every single day myself, actually. And I'm from Kansas. I'm a very simple girl. I like to keep things simple, keep things focused, and keep things fun. And I think this does exactly that. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope this helped out, and I look forward to hearing from all of you on how many days you have won. All right. I will talk to you all later. Bye.